PJA is a transport planning, engineering and placemaking consultancy. We work mostly with the development industry, primarily in the UK, helping developers to deliver their sites throughout the country. We also do work with the public sector, so we advise local government and national government on policy and best practice and so on. We operate from 6 regional offices in the UK, from Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol, Reading, London and Cambridge. We have approximately 130 staff in the business at the moment, and they tend to work in a hybrid fashion, with working part of the time at home, part of the time in the office, and also some people working from our development sites, working with our contractors or our clients. Our previous IT provider, we had a relationship with them for quite some time, originally when they were a much smaller business, but we found that as they grew through acquisition, they became less responsive in terms of the time it took for them to deal with our issues, but also the quality of the advice we were being given was sometimes variable, but also sometimes actually quite bad and potentially damaging to our business. So we felt that really it was time to move on. So one of the things I was really keen on when looking for a new IT supplier was finding somebody who would actually be proactive, would actually work with us and think through what we might need out of our IT services before we knew we needed it, because we're not IT people, we're technical people with transport planning, engineers and placemaking. IT is a support for us, it's not what we do. We actually then took a call from Leap IT, so we decided to take a meeting and we met with the managing director, one of their sales team, and we just explored the relationship. We explored a little bit more about Leap IT as a firm, how big they were, how many engineers they had, what their approach to managing our account would be, and we felt that it would be worthy of continuing that discussion, so we continued to meet with them and flesh out a proposal. So when we started working with Leap, they were taking time to understand what we've currently got by way of our setup, and they were looking at ways in which they could perhaps improve certain aspects. But there were certain aspects that actually were working reasonably well for us, and there was no need to change those. So we took the decision to stay. They advised us to stay with certain ways of working, and then perhaps change to different ways of working for other aspects of what we were doing. So in managing that transition to Leap as the new IT provider, they provided us with lots of access to their engineers, and they took some time to really understand our business in terms of how we operate, in terms of what we do, but also our IT systems, our setup, and that helped them really think about how that transition would work. So when it came to actually move the IT support services to Leap, it was well planned out, there was no downtime to speak of at all, and the process went very smoothly. We've been working with Leap IT for a while now. They've helped us move into our new office here, which is fantastic, and their ongoing support has been really good. We've certainly found that the relationship is building in the way in which I wanted it to. They're still taking time to understand us as we grow. It's not just a case of they spent time with us at the outset to get the contract, they've taken time since then to continue working with us and really helping us to develop our IT solutions. Some of the key wins for me with working with Leap IT have been, first of all, they're very proactive. They've really taken time to understand us as a business, and that for me is hugely valuable. The technical support we get from Leap IT is also very good in terms of its responsiveness, but also the quality of the support we're receiving. They're very easy to access for our technical team. They can access Leap support in various ways, either through a simple telephone call, through an email, or through a widget on the desktop there, which gets you a ticket instantly logged. Once a ticket's been raised by the team, that support is normally delivered very quickly. Occasionally it's a more difficult problem though, and it needs to be escalated, and Leap will escalate that internally without us having to get involved. And if indeed it requires a site visit, that's no problem at all. They can come and do that for us. And we've also now recently asked them to provide a sort of part-time IT manager for us. So we've now asked one of their engineers to come and sit with us once a month for the day and just deal with any of our on-site queries we've got. The other big thing for me is the onboarding process for new staff and new machines, new equipment. That is something that I used to personally manage because I didn't really have the faith in our previous provider, but now that's completely outsourced to Leap IT, which means I can go on with my day job and they can carry on doing the IT, which is fantastic. I'm very happy to recommend Leap IT.